We're getting ready to go live right now. Let's see here to make sure I get my screen shared with you. All right, so I think we're good. If you guys are on, I want to make sure that let me go ahead and get my slideshow going from the beginning. So if you can hear me, make sure you go ahead and just drop a comment. Let me know that you guys can hear me okay. We're going to be getting started here in just a second. It's about 11 o'clock Central Standard Time right now. And today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to leverage Propstream to easily find motivated sellers. So look, here's the thing. So many people get wrapped up thinking that they need all these tools and software and all this different stuff to be successful in their business, all these expenses, CRMs and all these different platforms. People try to sell you on all of these different things. But in reality, there's very few tools that you really need for this business. One I'm going to share with you today. It's pretty much going to cover the full gamut for most of you as beginning real estate investors. Propstream is pretty much going to be the only tool that you're going to need. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you why Propstream is such a powerful tool and how we can use it to find motivated sellers. I'm also going to give you a deep dive tutorial into Propstream. That way you can see exactly how I use it. And for those of you that are new that want to give Propstream a shot, I've got a link for you that I will drop below. It's real simple. It's just brianhaskins.com/Propstream. If you go there and order through that link, not only will you get a free trial, so you're going to be able to use the tool for free, but I'm going to give you some really cool training bonuses that you're only going to get if you order through that link. So one of the things that I'll do for you is I'm going to share with you today a lot of the training that we'll use for finding motivated sellers. But the thing about Propstream is that it's not just for finding motivated sellers. It's perfect for buyers. It's perfect for evaluating properties, looking at what stuff sold for, and just a ton of other stuff. So we're going to go through today and jump into a lot of that. Now, before we do that, let's talk a little bit about why a tool like Propstream is so important. Well, here's the thing. Wholesaling is all about data. If you want to be a better wholesaler and you want to do more deals, it's really all about having the best data because everything we do, every decision we make, has to be based on facts. Most people get in this business and they guess. They guess at where to find properties. They guess at what kinds of properties to find. They guess at making offers. There's just so many issues with the way this business is taught to people. And that's the reason why so many new investors struggle. Today, I want to give you a little bit of a glimpse into why data is so important, how to use some of that data to make better decisions. So like for me in my business, when it comes to understanding my market, I look at buyer data. I look at where the buyers buy and what parts of the market. Is it specific neighborhoods, specific zip codes? From there, I can look at specifically what types of properties are they buying? 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom properties, 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom properties, 1,500 square foot. Like what is their actual buying criteria is? And that tells me what the demand is in my market. Without knowing that, I would just be guessing. I would be going out, putting properties under contract that aren't a really good deal. I can look at what the buyers are paying. I can also see, what people owe on properties. I can see what houses sold for. So all that stuff is all information that I pull directly from Propstream. So if you want to be a successful wholesaler, everything starts with the data. So that's one of the things I'm going to share with you today. And more importantly, everything starts with high quality data. Okay. So what types of data do we use? Well, first of all, obviously buyer data. We need to understand who's buying in our area, what are they buying, and what are they paying. That is something that we can get from Propstream. Data on homeowners. So understanding who these homeowners are, what types of properties do they own, bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, how much equity do they have in them, like what is all the information. That's all stuff that we can pull from directly inside of Propstream. And then again, data on motivation, so we can see what their different motivation levels are. So that's really important, and I'll share that with you today. And then also understanding the data on sold properties. So the reason why that's so important and how we can pull all that from Propstream. So for those of you that are listening, go ahead and drop a comment below and just put in data. I want you to understand exactly how powerful that data is, and I want to make sure that you understand that. So drop in the word data. That's going to let me know you guys are following along. That's going to give me the energy to really make sure that we put together a really good training for you today. So we're going to go ahead and keep on going through this. We've got a lot of really awesome stuff to cover. I'm super excited for some of the stuff that we're going to share with you today. But one of the things that I want to kind of share with you is, look, the only tool that I use for data in my business is Propstream. All right. There's a lot of other tools out there. You know, people talk about Batch, and Batch is a fine company. They do a lot of things well, but a lot of times when these companies try to get their hands into too many things, they try to do cold calling, they try to do skip tracing, they try to do texting, they try to do data. What happens is they never do everything great. So what happens a lot of times is when there's companies that just focus on one thing, Propstream just focuses on data. A lot of times they're going to be the king. So one of the main reasons why Propstream is so great is because they're a huge company and they have the biggest budget. They can afford to buy the most amount of data. So companies like Batch and stuff, they just don't stack up. Batch doesn't have the ability to create all the filters and give you all the data that you need. There's a lot of other companies out there, and again, they just don't have the budget like Propstream. Look, I'm not trying to sell you on Propstream. I'm just trying to show you exactly what I use in my business and exactly how I use it. So that's why we're going to do a tutorial here in a second. But again, you know, other companies can get basic data. Propstream has a much bigger budget that allows them to get more niche lists and different stuff that you're just not going to find anywhere else. And that's one of the main reasons why I use Propstream for motivated seller data. It gives me the ability to be able to filter down. And the reason why that's important is because we can weed out any kind of properties that are just not a fit for what we want. And we want to do that on a lot of different levels. There's a lot of things you'll see when we go through some of the filters inside Propstream that really make a lot of sense, okay? The other thing is we can filter based on motivation level. So if we know someone's really motivated, that's awesome. That's exactly what we want. And even more important, we can create stacked lists and create our own compound lists inside of Propstream as well without any other tools or need for other data or anything like that. And basically, there's just so much additional stuff all in one place. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump in and do a Propstream tutorial. I'm going to jump over and share my Propstream screen with you guys. That way you can see me following inside of the software. But before I do that, make sure you guys give me some thumbs up. I want to make sure you guys are really enjoying this information. The more you guys like, the more you share, the more you comment, the more people we're going to be able to reach with this information. So really, really, really important for you guys to drop some comments below. Let me know that you're following along. Go ahead and like and make sure that that you guys can, let's see here. All right, perfect. So here we are inside Propstream. So basically what we want to do is we're going to go to essentially just kind of the home screen here. This is what you're going to see whenever you're logged in. Basically, there's a filter bar here at the top. This is going to be where you enter in your county data, zip code, city, any kind of address or anything like that. And then what's going to happen is you're going to see a map here, and then we're going to see all of the different properties that fit our criteria. And then we're allowed to, from there, filter down our options. So that's really, really, really important for us, is that we have the ability to be able to create these filters. So what I'm going to do for you today is step one is I'm going to show you how to pick an area that we're going to work, how we can add that in there. I like to start by either cities or counties. So we'll just do Wake County, North Carolina. So what's cool about this is we can see that there are, let's see, 405,767 properties in Wake County, North Carolina. So that's our step one. Step one is going to be to select our area. Now, what's cool is as we go through here, you're going to see this number shrink. And the way that that number shrinks is by applying filters, okay? So we can see here, there's some tabs, and these tabs are already pre-filters, okay? So we can see there's 227 pre-foreclosures in the area, 25 properties that are set to be auctioned off, 320 bank-owned properties, 38,000 cash buyers, 200 properties with liens, 2,200 vacant properties, and 30,000 with high equity. So we want to create our own filters, okay? Because it's much more than just motivation. We also want to filter out people that don't have a property that's a fit for what our buyers want. So let's talk about these filters, okay? So drop a comment below if you guys are following along. Just put in the word filter. That way I know that you guys are following along and that you can see what I have going on here. So first things first, everything is broken down by little categories here. Our first one is going to be occupancy status. And what that means is basically, is it owner occupied? Yes, no, or any. So a non-owner occupied property is a property that someone owns, but they don't live in, okay? So non-owner occupied is going to be people that they own the property, but they don't live in it. So that would be things like absentee owned properties where maybe there's a landlord or maybe they're rehabbing the property. For this particular video, we're just going to leave that as any. So we're going to have owner occupied and non-owner occupied. The other thing that we want to see is occupancy status. So do we want occupied properties or vacant properties? For motivated sellers, it doesn't matter. So we're going to leave these both as any. Now, if we just wanted to find vacant properties, we could click right here where it says vacant, and we can see it's going to narrow down those properties. So it went from 400,000 down to 2,200. So we're going to leave that as any. Okay. The next thing we want to look at is property characteristics. And this is a really, really important part and a really important place for us to start. So property characteristics is going to be information about the property. So when I'm dealing with motivated sellers, I like to stick with just residential properties. Now, obviously, you can add in additional stuff, but residential is going to be pretty much what we want. And then from here, we can look at all this other information. I typically like to stick with single family properties and multifamily properties. In my market, there's not a lot of condos and townhouses that investors buy just because it's kind of a pain to kind of deal with. So we can see that just by applying those couple of filters, and it keeps track of our filters right here, we've narrowed that list down from 400,000 down to 273,000 properties. That's a huge difference, okay? That's going to save you a ton of time and a ton of money because we're narrowing down to just properties that are fit for what we want. Now, the next thing we can look at is minimum bedrooms and bathrooms. So let's say in your area, the buyers in your market are buying minimum 2-bedroom properties, and they want minimum 1-bathroom property. So we can add that in there. That narrowed it down to about 100,000. So we cut about another 100,000 properties off of our list. Okay. Next thing we can look at, let's say they want building square foot. So let's just say that they want 1,000 square foot plus. That's going to narrow it down for us a little bit as well. Year built, we can do, let's just say 1960 and newer, if that's what they want in your area. It's going to be dependent upon, what's going on in your area. We can also do home features if we wanted to, school district. None of that stuff really matters for our search that we're doing right this second. MLS status. So this is really, really important. Okay. Typically, we do not want properties that are listed for sale. So on market, I always like to put no. So on market, no. That's really important for me. Any MLS status, you can also put in here, let's say that, for example, you wanted active listings, you wanted sold listings, failed listings. That's something that we can definitely do. Days on market. So there's a lot of MLS information that we can put inside here. The next thing we want to look at is the property and pre-foreclosure status. No, we don't really want to worry about that right now. Ownership info. This is really, really, really important. Okay. For me, what I like to do in here is I like to put in minimum 3 years of ownership. That means that they've owned the property for 3 years or longer. So we can see we've narrowed this list down to about 1/10 of its original size. Okay. Next thing we want owner type. I like to put in here individual. Typically, these are going to be people that own the property, not going to be corporations or big companies or anything like that. That's really important for us. And then let's see here. The next thing we want to put in here is going to be bankruptcy status. We don't really care about that right now. Valuation. So this one here is really super important for us. We can do estimated value or estimated equity. So I like to do estimated equity. Let's just say that they have a minimum of 50% equity or more. Okay. So what we've done here is we've got residential properties, single family, multifamily, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom or more, over 1,000 square foot or more, built 1960 or newer. On the market, no, so it's not listed for sale. They've owned the property for 3 years or more. The reason why we put that in there is because we don't want people that have just newly got into the property, okay? So we don't want people that have just moved in because they're not going to be really that motivated to sell. They own the property as an individual and they have a minimum of 50% equity or more. So let's see what happened here. We can see now that we went from over 450,000 properties down to 28,000 properties that fit our criteria. Okay. So the reason why it's important to narrow list down like this is because if we would have just started with that big 450,000 person list and added our motivation in on top of that, what happens is we would have wound up with a lot of people that didn't have a property that's a fit for the criteria that we want. So by starting smaller and eliminating all those other properties, we're going to be able to build our lists a lot easier, quicker. They're going to be smaller, so we know they're going to be a better fit for what we want, and it's going to be a lot more cost effective. So drop a comment below. Let me know if you understand why we narrowed that list down with our filters. And we haven't even talked about motivation yet, but we want to narrow it down to a much smaller list because we want to make sure that we're not wasting our money targeting people that aren't a fit for what we want. So let me know if you guys follow along with that. That's a really huge thing right there. That's going to save you a ton of money, a ton of time. So many people get caught up in building the wrong types of lists. So the only way we could do this is with a tool like Propstream. There's no other tool that's going to allow us to have these types of filters to narrow the list down. And that is so important. It's going to save you so much money, so much time when it comes to your marketing, because we can identify the people that are a fit for what we want. And we haven't even talked about motivation yet. So that's really, really, really awesome. All right, so drop a comment below. Let me know you guys are still following along. And again, for those of you that are looking to try Propstream, if you go to brianhaskins.com/Propstream, I'm going to be giving you guys a free trial of Propstream completely for free. When you sign up under that link, I will also send you a very special training that I created just for you guys on the filters that you want to use to get the most motivated sellers in your area. All right. So drop a comment below. If you just type in Propstream, I'll make sure that I send you the link. Or go to brianhaskins.com/Propstream. You're going to be able to get that free special training as long as you show me proof of receipt that you guys signed up for Propstream. All right. So again, we started out with a huge list. Now we've got it narrowed down to a much smaller list, less than 30,000 people. So right off the bat, we're going to be getting a much better quality list. And we know that these people are going to be having properties that are a fit for what we want. So the next thing that we want to look at is we can look at building lists based on motivation. So there's a couple different ways that we can do that inside Propstream. So one of the ways is we can manually go in here and we can look for things like pre-foreclosure. So if we know someone's in pre-foreclosure, or if we know they have high liens, or if we know that they are going through bankruptcy, or we know that they're an absentee owner, or we know the property's vacant. Those are all things that we can come in here and select. So that's one way that we can do these filters. So we can see that those vacant properties narrowed down to 57, whereas before it was like 2,200 or something like that. Another way we can do that is through these quick list choices here. So there's a lot of quick list choices that they have inside Propstream that you're going to be able to use. And this is going to automatically apply the filters on top of our filters right here. That's really going to be super, super helpful for us when it comes to creating our motivated seller lists. Okay. So again, when it comes to Propstream, this is just one of the things that we can do. Okay. So finding motivated sellers, that's obviously a huge, huge chunk of this business that we need to understand. But Propstream can be used for so many other things. So like right here, this shows us these are the properties that we have that fit our criteria. So if we want to find out more information about that property, all we have to do is we can see right here, this is going to give us the loan balance. So they owe $181,000 on the property. They have an estimated equity of over $220,000. Last time they bought this property was in 2016. Estimated value is $402,000. So that is a huge amount of information. But if we click on this, we can see right here, lots more information. We can see there's 24 photos. We can see everything about the property: bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, lot size. We can see property type. So this stuff right here is super critical for us. We can see the value. So we can see here that when they bought it probably for $180,000 and then it jumped up in value. We can see that there are comparable types of property. So there's 8 comparables out there. Average sale price, $820,000, 45 days on market. They only have one mortgage on the property, $181,000. So that shows that there's an opportunity or amount of equity for about $220,000. We look at typically it would rent for about $1,600 a month. Last sale price was for $203,000. So there's a huge amount of equity that is built up inside there. You also have a rehab calculator, but cool thing is we can see all these different tabs down here. This is going to give us a lot more information about the property. So first thing, here's property details. We can see who actually owns the property. This is really key for us because this is going to allow us to be able to skip trace and get their information. We can see all the information about the properties, see the building size, land information. We can see the legal description, tax information. So we can see here all the different information about the taxes, HOA, their transaction history. Other really cool stuff inside here. We can see last time it was listed on the MLS. We can see comparables. We can see tax information, mortgage history, documents, repairs. So if we look at comparable properties, look at this. Propstream automatically found 15 comparables, 100 different neighbors, 150 cash buyers around here. So this is really cool because we can now see right here, these are the properties that Propstream says are comparable properties. So the way that they did this, date range, they pulled a date range for us. So it's a 1-year date range and 1,500 square foot to 2,300 square foot. So we can adjust all this. So we can do it based on bedrooms, bathrooms, property type. So this is basically just sold information right here. Public record and MLS. Okay, so we can see here that public record sales are in green and MLS records are in blue. Okay, so let's just say we want just MLS records or we want just public records. We can do that as well, or we can do both. So we can see that this is our property right here. So 4066 Land Rover Lane. So this one, 4749 Land Rover Lane, was a single family, sold a public record sale, sold almost a little less than a year ago for $365,000. We can see here really close, another MLS property. We can see another property sold $402,000. So what's really important about this is that this is going to give us comparable properties just built in, which is really, really, really helpful. We can see if there's any photos. So that's a major thing that Propstream does for us. It gives us the ability to be able to see comps right off of the same record. So that's really helpful information. We can do that by clicking on any of these. So not just the one, but any of these properties. We can go here, do the same thing. We're going to find the same information out, value. They have one mortgage, 145,000. So there's $255,000 worth of equity. Same thing, comparable property. So we can see here based on, let's say, what's this one? So this one is a 3-bed, 3-bath. So let's just say we look at 3-bedroom, 3. Well, let's go 2 to 3. We narrowed it down too much. They don't have very many comps on this one, unfortunately. So we would have to do some more due diligence on this one. Let me find another one that makes it a little bit easier. Here we go. Here's another one. All right, so we got 11 in here. So we can see this one's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath. So let's say we want to just do 3-bedroom. So these are going to be a little bit more accurate comps. We can see we got a few of them inside here. This one sold for $550, $550, $400. Another thing too, we can look at, you can adjust the square footage and you can adjust the distance as well as how far they go out. Those are all things that we can do to kind of narrow that down a little bit, but we've got 11 properties that are comparable. Do you guys think this is powerful? Drop a comment below. Let me know. Do you guys find this is a very valuable strategy for finding out information about properties? Do you think that you could use a tool like this? So, and that's really the most important thing, is that we can get a lot of this and we can get all this data from just one place without trying to piece multiple things together. So that's really, really, really important for us, is to be able to have all this data in one area. So I think Propstream, to me, like I said, is the most important tool that I use in my business. It's the only tool that I use for data in my business. And what's cool about this is we can export all this information. We can do it individually. We can export this entire list. Again, we can narrow it down based on motivation. But the key is we use the data and we use the filters to really to be able to narrow these lists down to make sure that we're finding just the people that are a fit for what we want. Now we can come in here and add our motivation on top of this and really ultimately build our list. So another good example would be, let's go ahead. We can reset all of our filters. We can build stacked lists inside of Propstream as well. So one of the ways that we can do that is, let's say we want to do vacant properties. So we know there's 2,200. So let's say we want to find vacant properties that are also non-owner occupied. So now we've got 1,800 properties that we know are owned by someone that doesn't live in the property, and the property is vacant. So what that tells us is that this person is probably pretty likely to want to sell, because if they're not living in the property, that means they're either renting it out, or fixing the property up. So if that's the case, one of the things that we need to consider is that right now they're not making any income on this property. They may be very motivated to do that. So we can see these are ways that we can stack lists and compound lists right inside of Propstream. So there's a million different variations and ways that we can do that. So again, for those of you that are, interested in Propstream, I put together a special training for anybody that wants to get signed up. The way to do it basically is, whoops, sorry about that. Here we go. The way, if you want to get some training on Propstream for free, if you go to brianhaskins.com/Propstream, get signed up, you're going to get a free trial. I'm going to show you how to use that free trial to more than make your money back, if not more. I'll show you the exact types of lists that I build to find the most motivated sellers inside of Propstream. So that's going to be a special bonus just for people that order. So if you want me to give you this link, either drop Propstream below or just go to brianhaskins.com/Propstream. You'll be able to get instant access for a free trial. You're going to be able to use it, download records, and actually start marketing to people completely for free inside Propstream. So for those of you guys that know that this tool is going to be really powerful, drop a comment below or go to brianhaskins.com, and I will make sure that I reach out to you guys and get you access to Propstream, because again, this is one of the most powerful tools that we can use for data. And the more data that we have, the better you're going to be as a wholesaler. You don't need a lot of tools. You don't need 5, 10, 15 different subscriptions for this information. All we need is just one, and that's through Propstream. It's normally $97 a month. You're going to get access to it completely for free for a trial. That way you can test it out, make sure you like it, use it. And then from there, I'll show you how you'll go about integrating Propstream for every aspect of your business: finding sellers, finding buyers, evaluating properties, formulating your offers, estimating repairs, skip tracing. Everything can all be done right inside of Propstream. So for those of you guys that stuck with me, really appreciate it. Again, this is a very helpful tool, the only tool that I use in my business for data. So go ahead and check it out, and I look forward to talking to you guys all soon. Thanks.